Well, gambling, and I love doing drugs. And what a great place to go do drugs is down on the strip. I just got some LSD. I took some LSD the other day, Kyle, by myself.
I'm a big fan of
Is that
LSD.
not a good idea? I thought
that's fine.
Now, you know, Kyle, you know what I had forgotten? How long it lasts. Because with mushrooms, I can take enough other shit to go to sleep, right? But the LSD is like, hey, dude, this is a full day commitment. Like, don't plan on going to sleep for 16 hours at least.
Jesus Christ, that's a commitment.
Yeah, but it was a good time. I hadn't taken LSD in probably 20 years.
Oh, that's a long time. How did it
for a guy that loves
you...
drugs, you're not very good at satisfying yourself.
Or he's
well,
very
I
good
take
at
a lot
back.
of mushrooms and smoke a lot of weed.
Insult you, but you suck at taking it.
There are people that do LSD like daily. Like
yeah, they microdose it.
I watched a thing, I think on Netflix, a thing called The Alpinist about this climber. It's not Josh Hanold, it's this other guy with curly hair, and that's like he used to party, and he was like, "Yeah, I just do acid every night, you know." And everybody would want to do like one tab, and I'd want 6. You want 6 tabs? That way, you can go to another realm. And I'm like hearing my own words come out of this guy's mouth. I'm like, "Yeah, I like this dude. We're a lot alike." And then I saw what he does. He climbs the scariest shit on the fucking planet. And his whole thing is he doesn't even want to have been there before and looked at it. He's like, that's cheating. He doesn't want the camera crew there. That's also cheating. That's not solo enough. If there's just a guy on the mountain with him with a camera, he feels like that's a little bit of moral support. So he climbs these things that are like a mixture between snow, ice, and rock. So as he's going up these impossible, like steep cliffs, he'll have to stop and change his fucking shoes out for the spikes. And go to ice axes for a while.
He's doing this on LSD.
He doesn't do the LSD when he climbs.
Oh, I thought he was doing all that on LSD. I'm like,
what if you see a handhold that's not? I've never done acid, but like, what if you're like, sure, there's something secure to grab on, and it's not. It's like the little areas where you can put your fingers or like. Exactly.
I felt uncoordinated when on acid as well. Like not to the point where like I'm not stumbling and falling down the ground or anything, but I shouldn't be climbing mountains,
dude.
No,
Kyle, when you said, yeah, he likes to never have seen it before, I'm like, yeah, if he takes acid, he's not going to recognize it. Like, there's no. That's why I thought you meant he was taking acid.
No, I was just kind of like giving a window into his personality, like he was like wild as fuck, like with the stuff he does. But no, I like acid a lot. I think everybody should try it because it's not a scary experience. It's and that's what I thought it was going to be. I was like intimidated by it because it sounds like a real drug, and it was just kind of like, oh, look at that.
I have a question
wiggly
about LSD, right? So my friend took ayahuasca, which I guess is in the psychedelic sort of mushroom family, and it did 2 things for him. One, it made him think that his thoughts were all profound and correct. Like they didn't have to survive the scrutiny of reevaluation that a sober person's thoughts do. Also, it has something called neuroplasticity, which is to say that he's sort of influenceable for the next couple of days too, right? That was the thing that he did. Do mushrooms do that? Does LSD do that? Do any of them make you think that your thoughts are like, aha, I figured it out? This is
well, I can only speak for me and Kyle. Look, mushrooms, especially lately, I'll take mushrooms by myself, get into my bed, pull the covers over my head, and try to solve issues about myself. And I find that I open doors and I look for solutions that I wouldn't normally look for sober. Like my brain is taking me down. So, and I don't know if I always feel like I'm right, but I always feel the next day calmer and better. And happier and more well-adjusted. Like I feel like when I want to have a therapy session on mushrooms, it's like the most honest therapy session I've ever had. And I end up finding things that I would have never about myself. You know, one thing I found, ready for this?
Okay.
So I used to have kind of big ups and downs emotionally, right? And one night I was having a bad day, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna leave the planet tonight. Listen, I just need to go somewhere else."
I'm trying to.
Right? I took these mushrooms, Woody,
Dose.
and about 2 hours in, I was having such a good time by myself. And then my brain kind of tapped me on the shoulder and was like, "Hey man, guess what? This is the same brain you had earlier in the day when you were calling yourself a piece of shit and that you didn't deserve anything and that what a fucking asshole you are." Same brain. You have the power to not feel this way by yourself. Your brain can do that. Like, it was a conversation I had with myself. Like, I don't need this drug to feel good. It's the same brain. So if the brain can function like that with the drug, it can function like that without it. So for me, that was the biggest realization. And anytime, dude, for real, now, when I start to fucking hear myself bad talk myself or feel bad about myself, I just say, yo, I choose not to feel this way right now. This is not how I want to feel. This is not how I want to talk about myself. And the mushrooms, I want to say it, but I do credit that mushroom turning the mirror back on myself, which is what it does. Sure. You know? And so that's the best answer I can give you to that.
What was your dosage?
I was probably that night, probably at like 3.5 grams.
Okay.
Not crazy, not like a full hero's journey, but enough to do some damage, you know?
Was this a pretty...
Yeah.
I've only done mushrooms twice, or actually maybe 3 times. And the first 2 times I didn't take enough. And then the third time I took way too much and had a really bad experience. So I'm not a fan of mushrooms.
All right, let me jump in. I've taken mushrooms twice.
Okay.
Both times, I forget the dosage, but it was the 1 or 1.5 grams, which is a mild dose. One time it did so nothing, I'm not convinced I took mushrooms. I might have taken oregano or something. Like, I can't explain to you how nothing it was. I think maybe
Italian blend.
They were shiitake mushrooms or something that I took. The other time, though, I had a really good experience. I was a campfire environment, and I felt really good about the guys I was with. Things were funnier that would have otherwise been like mildly funny. And I didn't take a self-evaluation trip like Josh did, although I'm interested in it. I'm in kind of a fucking funk that I'm not happy with it. Every fucking winter, I get this like sort of cabin fever, like, you know, what do they call it? The
seasonal
seasonal affect disorder, right? So that's every winter. It's fucking June 22nd. Snap out of it.
I was about to say, right?
It
is like the middle of summer.
You're halfway.
This is the longest day of the year, and I'm like, oh man,
you're as far away from winter as you will ever be.
It's
man.
all downhill from here.
Every day now is closer to winter.
So, and I'm just like, how do I fucking snap out of this? I'm not. I was telling you before you joined the show. So I hurt my shoulder a little while ago, and I'm kind of getting back at it. I'm lifting weights well. I added some exercises that I had dropped because of injury. Now they're back. It makes me happy. I hit 2 PRs in the gym today that you'd think that would make me happy. I got some chores done and a little productivity, sense of accomplishment. And I'm just like, man, you know what? Today
Woody,
kind of sucked.
How do you feel about microdosing?
I feel fucking open to anything at this point. I don't want SSRIs, and I'm scared of
I was going to suggest carpentry projects, but yeah, let's microdose instead.
Dude, microdosing.
I want to make a charcuterie.
Microdosing. So every other day. So say you did Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and did like a 0.3. It's going to change. It's going to change your world. It's going to change your world.
0.3 Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah, every other day. This is what I understand. You can take Saturday and Sunday off, but it's gonna change your world. Now, that 1.5, dude, is the fucking sweet spot with mushrooms, because you're not gonna trip, but you're super happy and giggly. I want to ask you, how did you feel the next day after that 1.5?
So great, but I was having my best day. I do these motorcycle camping trips with my guy friends, and we ride motorcycles off-road for hundreds of miles and then, you know, rough it that night. This is my jam. So how was I the next day? Well, fucking awesome, because I might have been awesome without the mushrooms.
Well, I would give them a run. I would. They've worked. Everybody that I know that has taken them, it's really been beneficial, especially the people who are microdosing for mood enhancement. That has really been incredibly beneficial for people. Now, the next day of mushrooms, I feel amazing. I feel more clear, more optimistic about the world. Like, I feel amazing. So I'm not surprised you felt good, but riding on the motorcycle, I'm sure it had something to do with it.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah. I don't know, my mind's
You'd be like, I got stoned at Six Flags. What a great day. And it's like, well, it was the roller coasters carrying the bulk of that, man.
right.
By the way.
So like I was just thinking today, like right before the show, I was like, I need a fucking happy pill. Is there such a thing as a happy pill?
There's so many.
I'm a little nervous. Like, I don't think pot is a happy pill. I don't think pot makes you happy. I think Xanax maybe kind of might, but I'm scared of benzos. Heroin is a happy pill. That's like, if I understand right, I've never done heroin. That's like literally what it does. It just makes you okay with everything that's happening. But dude, opioids.
I think you've got your drugs mixed up a little bit, man.
Possibly.
Are you saying so? Heroin, I'm not sure if it makes you happy. I think it's more who gives a shit about anything right now.
Okay, I read someone describe their heroin trip. I've never done heroin, and I just got so caught up in this. Like, he's driving to work in the morning, it's raining, and he's stuck in traffic, and he sees beauty in every raindrop on his windshield.
Oh, that's amazing,
right?
How's he driving to work on heroin?
He does heroin. He doesn't care.
Are you suggesting he's irresponsible, Kyle?
Like, do you think he was really on the way to work?
I honestly don't know much about heroin. What I know about heroin comes from movies and stuff. I knew a couple of people who had done it in their past, but obviously they don't want to talk about that shit. It's like probably not their favorite topic, Mm-hmm. So I don't know what it's like, but I just know the way I see it depicted in film, and that. I didn't think of it as like a let me get my fix and go about my day kind of drug. I've always seen it as like let's disappear into a realm of numbness for the
Breaking Bad vomit drown scenario.
I mean, maybe it's like just like with everything else. If you're microdosing it, it just gives you a nice little hey everybody.
Can you microdose heroin?
No, don't fuck with those prescription opioids and benzos. Like I'm from the Midwest. I have seen so many fucking people ruin their lives with this shit.
Yeah,
many people.
Can I add on to that? The thing is, like, who struggles with heroin? Total losers, right? Who else struggles with heroin? Lots of people. People who had pain, people who had chronic pain, who were just on opioids for some period of time, who graduated to heroin. What, you think you're immune? I don't think I'm immune.
Yeah, no one's immune. They made the opioid, the company that made the OxyContin, like, had documents released from decades ago where they're like, oh yeah, it's addictive as hell, and we know it is, and people are going to want it when they're done with their treatments. And they were like pushing doctors to be like, oh, you have a little bit of pain? Take one of these as needed for a week, free refill. And it's like, that's how you get someone fucking addicted to drugs. And then they can't go back to that doctor and get more always. So they have to engage in drug seeking behavior. And when that runs out or it becomes too expensive, then they have to go to the street because they're going to go into withdrawal and potentially die if they don't. Like, you go down that path so fast.
And they ruined it for the rest of us because now I can't have a bottle of Oxys laying around.
It's so hard to get Xanax now because these fuckers.
It would be.
I mean, I'm just trying to feel good on the plane. I mean, what's the problem?
All jokes aside, like, I'm a responsible adult. If I wish that I'd go to the store and buy a bottle of like serious painkillers in case like I ever got injured. Like if I ever like break my hand with like dropping a barbell, I would love to have the medication I need to like numb that enough to like get to the ER. And that's how I would use it. It really would, but.
Kyle, I believe that you would. Yeah.
I love that. I love that low key brag about you got in there that you work out a lot. If I drop that dumbbell on my head.
That's not a low key brag. I mean, I work out every day, so it's like it's the most likely scenario that I'm going to get hurt. In my maybe a motorcycle accident, but like if I get hurt, it's probably going to be in the gym.
You get in a motorcycle accident, they are going to hook you up with something because it will be gruesome.